Well,
What's good?
All right, let me share this.
Would you like to go over real quick? You want to do it? No?
Sure.
All right. So before we get started, we want to. What? What?
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry.
How'd you even want to go up?
So we want to let you guys in on a little secret. We found this wonderful platform called Popcorn, and we want to tell you about our experience with it. You want to let them in on it, huh?
Yeah. So Popcorn is pretty cool. Basically, it's a platform that connects podcasters to sponsorships, opportunities where they can have interviews and so on. Basically, when I was trying to get an income for the podcast, it was kind of difficult getting things on the road. So then I stumbled across Popcorn through Buzzsprout, and then I started seeing people posting their podcasts and all these type of things. And I mean, Popcorn actually had their own sponsorship.
Yeah, so today's episode of the PowerTrip podcast is sponsored by Popcorn. Yes, and so like Honey was saying, it's a wonderful platform where you can get sponsored by different brands, and you can also kind of choose your price on how much you want to be paid for to be sponsored by them and to have their brand on your platform.
Yes, without any exclusivities, and you get to keep your rights.
Exactly.
And everything is perfect.
Yeah, so it is wonderful. If you're ever looking for ways to create an income on your podcast or YouTube videos, definitely check out Popcorn. Or excuse me, just for podcasts. But check out Popcorn.
Yes, and at the end of this video, check out the link in our bio if you're interested.
Yes, and let us know your experience, and we'll keep you updated with our experience. Once again, this episode of the PowerTrip podcast is sponsored by Popcorn.
All right.
All right. Hey guys. Thank you.
Mommy? Thank you, Maji.
Thank you. How's everybody's night going? Okay, now can you get me, Honey? All right. How's everybody's night going? We have of course, we always have some fun topics that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Things that make us think, and also just share everyone's mindset with the different, I would say, what would you call them? Controversial topics.
Yeah, controversial type. She just said I saw the title.
Yes. Yes, we have some interesting topics coming up, guys. So I'm just going to share this on Facebook. Okay. So perfect. All right. And we just got text from my sister-in-law's sister that Cicely Tyson passed away. So pray she rests in peace, and we pray for just love and comfort to all those who are affected by her passing.
I might not be as cultured as most when it comes to that. Who is she?
I believe she was an actress. Oh. I can see her face, but don't quote me.
If she's an actress, what did she play in? People.
You would know her when you see her, huh? She was beautiful.
You said Cicely Tyson?
Yeah, you'll know her. She played in look.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see her face. Mommy said yes, she was a legend.
You knew that's who that was?
Yeah, I could see her face, but because of the role she played in, I was like, I don't know if she was an activist or just an actress.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yes. All right. So you want to just hop in our first topic, please?
Do
you?
All right. Let's see.
Let's get started.
All right. Our first topic we got is no more babies. No more babies. We don't have any, so we didn't even start yet to say no more.
So our topic. Oh, sorry, sounder. Okay. Oh wait. Let's see. Let me scoop that. Thank you. That's good. Oops.
Good.
Okay, you good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our topic, we don't really watch TV. So I ended up seeing an article on this though, and basically it was an article about the show Love and Hip Hop, and it was discussing. It was a clip where Safaree and his wife Erica Mena were talking. I guess they were having issues, and we're gonna just play the clip. We're gonna play the clip, and then we'll discuss. You know how we do. That's how we do it.
You might not hear it. Let's see.
What's going on up there with you and Safaree?
Somebody want to have some more babies and somebody don't.
She's saying, how can I look at this baby and not want another one?
But tell him why you don't want another one. Because I got too big during my pregnancy.
No, I didn't
Tell
say
him.
that. Yeah, see, first of all, I never said that.
That's not right, Safaree.
Thank you.
Oh my, yo, she's making this up.
Yo, you
woman almost dies giving birth.
You mentioned my stomach afterwards.
Oh, wow.
I didn't say she got too big. I just said.
Yes, you did. You said you got too big. I got too big. I don't want to be fat again. That's what you said.
Safaree.
No, I didn't say that. I just said
you should apologize, especially on camera, man.
And it's stressful.
Okay. So.
What do y'all think about that?
Yes. Opinions. If your husband told you that he didn't want any more children because you got too big during pregnancy, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, would you respect that or?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I can understand some women may gain more weight if they're, eating more and, not being active and stuff during pregnancy.
Yeah.
But overall, you don't really control fully how big your stomach gets.
So oh boy. Why you saying oh boy, CH?
But yeah, it's like you don't have control over that. And how ungrateful. Like, she just carried your child for 9 months, and you have the nerve to say that you got too big?
Do you think it's ungrateful? Wait, no, I don't think it's ungrateful because he's saying, I don't want you to do this again.
Because you got too big for my eyes. Like,
but do you think that says that he's ungrateful?
Yes, because you should understand, like, well, okay, immature, just like, like, pathetic. I don't know. Like, I think it's ungrateful to say, okay, like, after someone had a child, to say, you know what? Well, I don't know. Maybe not ungrateful, but
yeah,
no, let me know what you think.
I don't think it's ungrateful, but I think it's definitely his mindset is in a different lane, because people have their reasons to not wanting to have another child. And to a certain extent, some women may have that same reason why they wouldn't have another child.
Some women would feel like, I think it would be more so the process of losing weight afterwards that make that women feel that way, because your body changes so much when you're having a baby. Like, your stomach, your uterus is being stretched, and you may get stretch marks. And then when you lose weight, like, sometimes you have loose skin and you have marks, so your body's just not what you're used to.
True.
So for some women, it may cause insecurities to have your husband tell you that, you know what, next time we're just gonna get a surrogate because the way you was looking, girl, just I can't handle that again. Yeah. Like, that sounds crazy. Mama J said disrespectful. It is disrespectful. And I just think that, see, this is where I feel like, how some women say men shouldn't have opinions on women's bodies. It's like, it's just
Janae.
Hey, the biz. It's just like, it's, for one, it's temporary. And honestly, like, okay, I get men are visual. And so you're used to your wife's body a certain type of way as well. So when you see those changes, it's a lot. But just the fact that, okay, that change brought life into this world. That change brought your child into this world. So you should really appreciate that and admire that. And then once she has the baby and, it's time for her to, like, if she wants to, and, I would think a man should encourage her to get to a healthier weight and everything as well, just for health reasons. But you should encourage her rather than, it's kind of like you're taking a shot at her, her self-esteem too.
Okay. I mean, I could, if she feels a way about it, yeah, I could see it as being a shot at her self-esteem.
Even if she doesn't feel the way, you saying that, like, you don't think, like, if I felt like, oh, great,
So,
I had the baby, this is temporary. Yeah, it may not be my ideal size or my typical size, but I'm comfortable and I know I'm going to lose this. And I'm like, but you know what, hon, I really want, another baby. Like, look at our child. How can you not want another little angel like this? And you're like, yeah, well, you're not going to carry the baby next. We're going to have to get a surrogate because you blew up like a house. Like, I'm okay. But when you say that, the man, who really, besides myself, is the only one who I care how I look.
True.
That, that takes a shot at their.
Okay.
You're gonna show me?
Yeah. So do you think?
Chi-Chi.
So do you think it's the way he said it?
No, I think it's the fact that he said it. Because there is so you the whole surrogate.
So he should have just kept that to himself.
Yeah, well, maybe you can have a conversation, but just I don't know, like that type of man. He's a male. It's just like, you're just so childish and immature that you want me to have someone else carry our child when I'm very capable, just because of a look, just because of a superficial look. I'm your wife.
Mm-hmm.
So through better or worse, through skinny or fat, through sickness and health, like, we're supposed to be together. And yeah, I may have gotten big then, but I'm sure Erica's back to, small now.
Okay.
So just because that, it's temporary. That's another thing. It's a temporary thing, and it's bringing life into this world.
I mean, I don't say, I don't take that part away.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say Ciaja said, leads me to believe that her size may have prevented him from getting any during the pregnancy, which goes back to selfishness.
That's a good point, because yeah, like, as big as you get, you may be uncomfortable, you may not be in the mood, may not want to.
Mm-hmm.
And, a man still has needs. So that's an interesting point. But it does still go back to selfishness, because it's like, yeah, as much as you have your needs, her body's stretching, her back probably hurts. Like, she's still going through things too.
No, that's true. So I was about to say, though, her size prevented him from getting any. Would that be because he wasn't attracted to not give her any?
No, she's saying maybe her belly was literally too big for them to have that safely.
Okay.
But then also, there's other things you can do to still please your man. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be intercourse, to at least get them through.
Yeah.
So I think that should have been the conversation versus, oh, you got too big. Whatever the underlying issue is, I think that should be what is voiced. Unless he's really just superficial. Well, some men are very superficial.
Well, see, and that's what I was getting at from jump.
Mm-hmm.
Is okay, and this is funny because it's the conversation that we was having about some men not liking women to wear a bonnet. Like, they don't want to see her wear the bonnet because they feel like the bonnet make her look a certain type of way.
Less attractive.
Yeah, less attractive. Mm-hmm. So, if he can't not if he can't understand, maybe he understands, but maybe his mindset and his perspective is not mature or strong enough to see the beauty in what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that is turning him off.
Yeah. And I can understand, because men are visual beings. So I can understand that. I think it comes to a point, So okay, if you and your partner are being intimate
Mhm.
and the bonnet is just not doing it for you, okay, that's fine. Take off the bonnet. However, if that's how she wants to sleep, well, I don't know. It's like some men think women should be primed and proper like
At all
24/7. Like her hair should be laid, her face should be laid and slayed
Mhm.
to the dogs. And she should always just be upkept. And I do feel like as women and as men, like we should kind of hold ourselves to a certain standard. Like you shouldn't just go, crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you're sick and things like that happen, okay. But I think it just becomes too far. And when the visual attraction is everything to you in your relationship, you're in the relationship for the wrong reasons. Because beauty fades. And you guys are gonna get older, and as much work and things that you want to get done, I mean, yeah, okay. Go very much.
Okay. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
All right, she says, I would not like it, but he's entitled to his opinion. And if he's willing to do the work for us not to have any more children, then okay. And so that mean that you would be okay with the surrogate route?
That's interesting. And then read what she said. Please.
She said, it's hurtful to say, but it's honest, which I appreciate.
I appreciate the honesty as well. I do think it's still rude and it is hurtful. I do appreciate the honesty, but then it's kind of like for a temporary situation, like you just felt she was too big during that time when she was going to lose the weight. I don't know. It's hard to see where he's coming from, I guess.
Because you don't have that same type of mindset.
I don't.
You said you skipped one?
The CHF.
Let's see. She says, women experience an array of emotions during and post-pregnancy.
Very true.
So the type of statement, especially coming from your husband, is unacceptable. No, sir, couldn't be mine. Laugh out loud.
That's true too. I mean, postpartum depression is a common thing that women experience without being told that. So let that be added to it. It just feels like you're not desired, or like just kind of like, man, I know my body changed and this is new for me. And I get, it may not be what you're used to, but sheesh, you want a whole nother woman to have a baby just so I can keep this figure?
In a way, I guess I see it. It would make a woman feel as if that that this man didn't appreciate me through the process of it.
Right. And also, to me, I feel like it stems deeper than just this moment. Like, I feel like it's telling to why you're with me. Because granted, yeah, you're not saying I'm going to leave you if you get pregnant. Well, I don't know what he's going to do. But he didn't say I'm going to leave you if you get pregnant again. But it's just like, wow, attraction is like super high on your list. And there's so many other values that I would believe that I'm bringing to the table. And, to have a family with you, like I would just really want to know, like, is that truly the root of why you don't want us to have why you don't want me to carry another baby? Yeah. I would just want to know that.
That's true.
Okay. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, my G. Thank you. Mom says, you want to read it?
What if she does not lose the weight? Then what? She needs to kick him to the curb. It's all about the outside, not the inside.
Which is what you basically
So
saying.
I agree to an extent. Because if she doesn't lose the weight, I would just want to know the why. Like, is she trying to lose the weight? Is she just too busy with the kids? Because I do feel like as a man and a woman in our relationship, we should keep up with ourselves.
Okay.
Because not only for the physical attraction, because I still want you to be attracted to me and I want to be attracted to you, but like I said, it all goes back to health as well. And so I want us to live long lives and be able to take care of our children. So if I'm just not, active and, fit and eating well, which relates to weight a lot of the times, then that's also going to play a factor in my health.
Yeah, in your own life, in your child's life.
Exactly.
The whole 9 yards.
And I think, sorry, honey, you going to say something else?
No, I was about to say, so I get it.
Yeah. And I just feel like if because it's like you got with someone looking a certain way, and yes, you're gonna be with them no matter how they look, even if they get big. And if you like attraction is something that is important to you, you should encourage them and work with them to lose the weight. You don't demean anyone, you don't talk down to anyone. You say, hey honey, let's go for a walk together.
Yeah.
Or hey honey, let's try to eat a little healthier together. Because it's hard to gain weight and then have the desire to lose it. And especially I'm sure after childbirth, when you're tired, you have an infant that you're up with all hours of the night, you're breastfeeding. Yeah. So it takes time. So I think patience, communication, like Aunt Chi Chi said, and then just respect. Hey, Khalik.
Yeah, what's up, Khalik? What's up? He says he wants. Well, he didn't say he wanted a surrogate though. But I was wondering if
he says he wants more kids. But no, yes, he did say that. He said that he didn't really. Well, she said.
Oh, I guess he was insinuating it.
No, that's what she said. He said.
Oh, she said surrogate with her words?
Yes. So she said that he told her no because she got too big, and then it would only be okay if it was through a surrogate. Yeah, that's he said that on Chi Chi. Navarro says, I don't think men think that way. I think males do. I agree. And it is most important we draw a line between the two. I truly agree. Because a true man that's not how they think.
Yeah.
Ciasia says, if you can't take your do-rag off, the bonnet is staying on.
That's true though. That's true.
But I guess it depends on the man. Some men don't wear do-rags. Some men have short hair, they don't have a need, and they're just fine.
That's
you
true.
know? So I think it just
ball.
they got a lot of baldies out there. So they just don't need it. But that one, that's a different day, different conversation, the bonnets and the do-rags. Let's see, Karen. I would be so concerned that I had married such a superficial man. We are being human together, growing together. This isn't a movie or magazine. This is life. I agree with that as well.
Yes.
Because it's like I said earlier, like it's so much deeper. And I would think that the main reason that you're with me is just because of how I look versus all the other things that I bring to the table, which as a great woman, I bring a lot to the table. But yeah, so I agree with that. And it would just be like, yikes, this is the man I married. Like it would really be like,
it would make you think about the person.
Yeah. And let's see, Orange says, hey Orange, talk about what happened in the stock market. Did you hear me? I'm one of the thousands of people who are heated.
Stock market.
We'll talk about that after this conversation. We'll say a little short clip about that after this conversation. Mama J said extra weight doesn't necessarily mean unhealthy.
No, it doesn't.
I guess it depends on how much extra weight we're talking. Because
but it's fair. This is the thing. It doesn't mean that you're unhealthy, right? But if you do gain weight, during your pregnancy, I mean, it is fair for you to at least try to lose the extra weight that was put on.
Yeah, because I feel like we all have our ideal weight for our bodies. And it's not going to be the same for each woman or each male. Excuse me. But some extra weight, like I'll say like 5 pounds. Like most people go to like from a 5 pound range. Isn't too bad. But once you start hitting 15, 20 pounds.
You said 5 pounds?
Like a range, 5 pound range? Like from 140 to 145.
During pregnancy?
No. Just in general. People sway. Like you don't just stay at one weight.
Okay.
But I feel like once you start hitting over 15 and 20 pounds, then that can be unhealthy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Khalik said no kids for him. Okay. That's interesting.
That's interesting that you say that. But yeah, if you had some, you definitely get fat. You would have to definitely work out, bro. Notice he said that too. He was like, he didn't want to get fat too.
He said he did get fat during the pregnancy. They did say that's interesting though. They say men
they
gain weight with the woman because you guys can eat anyway, so you're probably just enjoying all the stuff that we eat.
Probably.
Let's see. Mama J says, bottom line, don't say no crap like that to your mate. Yes, I agree. I think you should be honest. But that was just kind of rude and disrespectful.
Yeah, it was.
So let's move on to.
And you'll get some baby weight.
Oh, he was saying you'll gain baby weight if your spouse is gaining weight.
You wanted to just go over the stock thing real quick?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the stock. So I'm not sure if you guys have been seeing what's going on in the stock market. However, it's going crazy. Yeah. So a lot of your everyday investors, which are termed retail investors, have been kind of turning the stock market on its head, and a lot of what are they called? Not brokerage accounts. Hedge funds. Yeah, thank you. A lot of hedge funds were shorting certain stocks, so they were betting that the stock was going to go down in price, like GameStop, AMC, and many of those
which
companies.
pulls the price of the stock down.
Right, and so a lot of your everyday investors were like, nah, we're going to rise these stocks up.
They felt like that was wrong for them to be doing that.
Right, because honestly, it affects the livelihood of those businesses that they're doing it to.
Yeah.
So a lot of these investors started boosting the stock. GameStop was huge. It happened to, and there's a few others as well. And so there was one. What did you say it's called again? Hedge fund. There's one hedge fund that ended up actually going bankrupt because all of these retail investors were doing that. And so now a lot of the brokerage accounts like Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, all these were limiting the amounts of trades that people can do. They were stopping people from making trades. They were closing people out of their positions in GameStop and other positions that they had, and preventing them from doing what they're supposed to do and what they're allowed to do in the free market.
Exactly.
So right now that's a big issue. It's got all the way up to the Senate. They're going to review it, which I thought that,
it's too far.
The government and the market were supposed to be separate, but who knows? So yeah, so that's what's going on with the stock market. It's very interesting, and it's honestly, right now, to summarize it, it's the people gaining money and the wealthy, the 1% losing money. And so it's a problem.
Yep. So that's what's going on with the stocks, GameStop, and Marvin.
And Marvin was a hedge fund that went bankrupt.
So yeah, and that's why they're talking about it, Khalid. It's just going crazy right now. People, like, over the last month, people probably made millions of dollars.
Oh, they did make millions.
Yeah, not probably.
GameStop went crazy.
It went
like
crazy.
Over 400% in like a week. It was crazy.
GameStop changed people's life.
Literally made millionaires.
Yes.
And people paying off debt. And that's the thing. It's like people weren't even doing bad things with it. Well, not all. But most of the people that I've seen posting were paying off debt, paying off student loans. Yeah. Like, they were doing great things. And unfortunately, when this all
started on social media. So while we at it though, with the social media thing, be careful, because I think the social media thing really about to be flipped upside down on us.
Yeah, it is. And while we're talking about social media, make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already.
Please.
Also subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. And if you're new, please write in the chat. We want to hear from you. And then also share. Yes. And also share the video with a friend.
Yes.
And another friend.
Yes, please. Next time, share the link to a friend, somebody that you think would be interested in the conversation that we have. Not always the stock market talk. This is the first time, but y'all know. Y'all regulars know. Andre know.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
So we're going to move on to the next topic.
Gender roles.
So we're going to play a clip.
Yeah.
It's one of our faves.
We're going to play a clip real quick, right?
So funny.
It's funny. But think about, while y'all watching this, think about a gender role that y'all don't feel should necessarily be attached to a certain sex.
That's a good one.
Right.
And just a plug, if you guys haven't seen our episode on gender roles, it was a couples talk video. So we were talking with our friends,
Navarro.
Mr. and Mrs. Whitaker, Courtney and Navarro Whitaker, and we had a great discussion on it. So if you guys haven't checked that out, please go ahead and look at that after this live. But yeah, so let's play our clip.
Food on the table when you get home. Mom. Food on the table, straight to the kitchen.
What are you talking about? Mom, don't worry, Mom.
Hey!
You try to be the man of the house? What are you doing? You don't think you're the man right now?
I was joking with Mom.
You want the last day you smile right now? Stop your smile.
The last day you smile? Oh my goodness. Okay, can you go to the...
Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, Dave.
What's up, Dave?
Okay, so what did you guys... Okay, so Honey's question was, what are some gender roles that you don't feel like should be applied to a certain sex?
Yeah.
And then based off of that video, obviously, that one was a joke. There's a couple who the guy was pranking, the husband was pranking his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
It was so cute though. She's like, are you trying to be the man of the house? You don't think that you're the man? But
on the table, straight to the kitchen.
yeah, so that is a gender role, a traditional gender role where women are the ones who are supposed to be. The women are the ones who are supposed to be cooking. Oh, goodness. Okay, so let's show that one. All right, so Khalik says, a hot meal won't hurt anybody after a long day at the office. That is very true.
It's true. It's true.
All right, and then Tanya says, cooking, cleaning, laundry, keeping the kids. So you don't feel, so that's a gender role that you don't feel should be attached to women. Is that what you're saying, Tanya?
Same to you, Damien? You don't think cooking should be something that's attached to the woman?
Okay. Let's get the comments rolling. I'm really interested to see you guys' perspective on this. Okay. If you aren't biologically unable to do it, then hop to it. No gender roles. No gender roles. So you don't think there should be any gender roles? Mama J said he can bring that hot meal home. Okay. Alrighty. So let's unwrap this.
Where everybody else at? Where you at, Janae? Where you at, Maji?
Yes. No gender. Okay, that's interesting. So that's really
yes, it could go either way. I work hard. I'll be hungry when I get home.
And that's another thing that's gonna tie into our next topic.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is it definitely okay, all right. It definitely depends on how your household is set up. Like I do think there are gender roles.
Mm-hmm.
I think women, as women and being feminine, we naturally are nurturers. We naturally our type of cleaning and a man's type of cleaning can be a little bit different. We're different people. Yeah. We operate differently. We function differently. We're able to adapt and multitask and handle certain things. Men, you handle things in a different way. So I feel like, let's see, Ruby says, I be over here talking out loud, laughing loud, because some things take a lot to type out. I'll just say them to y'all the next time. Boobiz, we need interaction.
Okay. We got something for you though.
Or we're gonna put you on the video.
Yeah. Do you want to be?
Oh yeah, you want to be on the video? We'll send you a link. That's true. Women are nurturers. Yes. Mommy said, I think that men and women can participate together in most activities. Women are nurturing. So what about like taking out the trash, mowing the lawn, pumping gas? Because did Mama J say anything? Because she said something about the hot meal.
Yeah. You read what Damien said already?
No. Nope, I didn't. There should be some, like there's nothing like a domesticated woman. beauty brains, can do laundry properly, and cook a hot meal. Yeah, she said, man, I got the bonnet on. No bonnet. The pumping gas is no bueno.
Okay.
So, okay, what do you think, hon? I'm actually going to let you talk first. What do you think about gender roles?
Gender roles.
I wish actually we did have Navarro and Courtney on.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Let us know if you guys want to join.
But how I feel about gender roles, I think they should be in place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it keeps balance.
Mm-hmm.
The balance comes where it's things like our next topic, the imbalance of things. Yeah, I think that gender roles is good.
Yes, I agree too. And the reason I agree, and I didn't always agree. Oh, let me tell y'all.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Yes, honey.
Before you go into that,
yes.
I think that they should stay in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as far see, I don't look at it to the extent of laundry and like the cook thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cook for me, but it's not like I won't go in there and cook too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm hungry and you're doing something, if I'm feeling it, I might just get up and go start cooking.
Yeah.
You know,
and
so
you'll cook for the both of us. So.
Exactly. So those things kind of start teetering a bit. Mm-hmm. But I don't like you taking out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all been on here before, y'all heard that one day she was mowing the grass.
I just wanted to try out the new lawnmower.
She wanted to try out the lawnmower
while
I was at work.
It wasn't just any type of lawnmower. It was one that we never used before.
Yeah. So things like that. And even now moving into more of, financial things and stuff like that. It's just, I feel like, I guess the male should take the lead on some of these things. Because it lets the woman be the woman. Mm-hmm. It going to work changes, certain things, and doing certain things it changes your mindset. It changes your anatomy, I feel like, as a woman.
Yeah. And also, okay, so let's tie it into our next topic. So our next topic is, should a woman work outside of the house?
Yes.
And so what everyone is saying is Damien says, trash man, gas if my lady with me, that's for me to do. Chi says, for most of us, we live in nuclear families. No daily support from extended family. The responsibility and work needs to be spread out and distributed in such a way that no one is unduly burdened.
Yeah.
And then Booby says, my husband and I don't necessarily see gender roles, but there are some things that we do expect from each other. But leave it to my father-in-law, who's Nigerian. It's a different story, laugh out loud. So from what I'm hearing, I think it also goes to the state that we're like a lot of us are in, and that's different from traditional roles in the past, where a lot of women are working outside the house as well. So if a woman and the man are working outside of the home, then when she's working, like you can't. What was it in? I think it was in like the 5 love languages book. And it was like, we're both working outside the home, but then he wants me to still come home, cook, clean, do the laundry, get the kids together so he can unwind. Yeah. And in that sense, it's like, we're both tired.
Yeah.
We're both, stressed from work. We want to unwind, but we still have things that we have to do in the household.
Yeah. At that point, it's unfair because your woman is working overtime.
Exactly. She has her career as a housewife, and then she has her career in the workplace.
Correct.
And so that's where we had a good suggestion from Mama J about talking about, should a woman work in the house, or should she work outside of the house, or should she not work at all? Because when that does happen, when you have kids, and like Aunt Chi Chi said, most of us have nuclear families that operate. So if I'm working outside the home, you're working outside the home, then it's going to be tougher for us to have all the time that we want with our children. It's going to be tougher for us to, make the time in our day to really spend nurturing each other, our kids, because we're tired. So that's one reason why a lot of couples have divorced through the pandemic, because they were always on the go. So it's like, I see you for breakfast, quick kiss, we leave, we go to work, come back home, we eat together, we probably relax, watch a movie, cuddle, maybe be intimate, and then go to bed. Now, during the pandemic, a lot of people are working from home. Mm-hmm. So they're with each other all day.
Yeah.
And a lot of couples aren't used to that. They aren't used to spending that much time with their significant other.
True.
So now they're like, oh, I don't really like you. I'm used to seeing you, a few hours a day, but now we're spending so much time together, it's just not working.
Yeah.
So I feel like if the woman doesn't have to work, not saying she can't work, but if the man's making enough to where you guys are living a lifestyle where it's like however much you make, we can live off of that lifestyle. And I can nurture our kids. I can make sure the house is good. I can make sure you're excelling, everything like that. Mm-hmm. I can even work from home and bring in passive income.
True.
I feel like that's more ideal because you can spend all this time building up your family. And I feel like as women, like that's one of the most important things, well, for me, is our family. Let's see what Mama J says. Gender roles back when and gender roles today are a little different. And Auntie says, everyone should pretty much do what needs to be done. We can all have certain jobs we do in the house, but everyone should be able to do the job if necessary. And Booby said that part on Cheat Sheet. Okay. And Mommy, please like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. And also, you guys weren't here in the beginning. We are sponsored by, this episode is sponsored by Popcorn. So let's see. Okay, so on Cheat, I want to go back to her comment. Everyone should pretty much do what needs to be done. We can all have certain jobs to do in the house, but everyone should be able to do them if necessary. So I agree. And that was my argument. Mm-hmm. So before I feel like I was more masculine, and I'm trying to step more into my femininity because I feel like there's power into that and it brings a better balance for us. Mm-hmm. But Saquon like really felt some type of way that I was taking out the trash. And I'm like, honey.
And mowing the lawn.
It's just the trash. And I just wanted to try out the new lawnmower. But my argument, and we were talking with our friends about this, I was like, okay, what if he breaks his ankle, God forbid, or breaks his leg and he can't do it? Then who has to do it?
I mean, I guess I get it on that. And I mean, even think about it now, right? Mm-hmm. I guess it's almost like this. And I mean, I think men think like their instincts is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So it kind of just ring a little different bells, right? Mm-hmm. But I look at it like this. If I live in this community, right? Mm-hmm. And I know a husband and wife live here, mm-hmm. right? And I see her bringing out the trash every day while he just happily, merrily just living his life, right? Mm-hmm. I would wonder, like, so he leave the dirty work to his wife. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I would think, and maybe that's why it would bother me. Because I would think about that the same way. Like, yo, you see this?
Yeah, and that's another thing. You guys feel like if you are taking out the trash and you are cooking, cleaning, doing all this work, and you do you feel like you would still have the same respect for your husband? And let's see, get out of my head. Oh, hold on. That depends. I feel like I would love to be the sole provider. However, if that's where your relationship is, do what works for you. We're in the day of independent working women. And I think that's kind of a problem too. Yeah. The whole independent woman notion. I feel like we've taken it way too far to where it's like, okay, I know, God forbid, like, well, I know I'd always be okay. I know he would always be okay. But I feel like we're more interdependent than independent.
Yeah. You're not a woman, neither a man are meant to be independent.
Exactly. Because now you get in that mindset where, and that's not for today, it's for another time. What's yours? Like when married, what's yours is mine. Mine's yours. Is that another day?
I mean, we could talk about it, I guess.
But now you're in that mindset to where I don't need you.
Yeah, you always have this net where you're thinking about, I don't really need this person.
Yes.
Because I'm so independent.
Right. And so it becomes I don't need you, or it becomes a competition where you're stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah.
And that was something that I had to learn as well. Like there's like when you have set roles in your relationship, and for those of you who don't agree that there are gender roles, I still think there needs to be defined roles. Like we talked about last week, marriage is like a business. If you are trying to do the job of the financial, the treasurer, and you are the customer service rep, it's going to be an issue. Because now you're taking my job.
Yeah, now you're taking my job. You're stepping on my toes.
Right.
You're neglecting yours, for one. You know what I'm saying? So that it's just not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So I feel like you do need to find roles within a relationship that leaves less argument because you guys know what you're expecting of each other. I feel like it brings more harmony because you have a better functioning household, and it's just you're not competing with each other. I think a lot of times issues arise because it's like a woman's trying to compete with a man. And it's like why would you even want to be like a man? Like
they are. Some of them are, but I don't even think they see it as a competition. They don't even understand. I think that women have been put in a position, and no, not all women. I'm not even going to say it. They've been brainwashed to feel as if that being this super independent woman is an accolade and an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's so.
Same. Oh, that's another. So it's not for this week, the single mother thing?
I don't know. We might as well just
we
talk.
got a lot. I got a lot coming to my head.
But look, nah. So they think that that's an accolade. So when they get around men, right, and they start talking about, oh, well, I do this and I did that. Nobody really want to hear that. You get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, and like, I want you because of your job. I want you because I probably want to have a family, and I want you to take care of my house. And when I mean take care of my house, means to take care of my family and help me build this system that I think that you are fit for within this family. You get what I'm saying? And will pass down a mindset and help me make the best kids that we have, that we can. You get what I'm saying? That's what I think that I'm looking at when I see when I seen you. You get what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying?
That attracted to you, like certain traits attracted you to me.
Exactly.
As far as being a woman who you feel like you could have a great family unit with, and that my mindset and everything would help cultivate our children and all that.
Yeah, to me it don't matter about it's not about the money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, men don't really, honestly, men, see, there's a distinction, like Navarro said earlier, between men and males. Men don't really care how much money a woman makes.
But a male does, because I tell you, you won't understand how many people have been like, oh, well, bro, you just good. You got a doctor.
Yes.
And it sounds so stupid to me. You know,
they're like, you're set for life. You've married a doctor. You're marrying a doctor.
Yeah. So I don't know.
All right, let's start reading the comments. Okay, so Karen says, before getting married and or having a partner, we all should be fully functioning adults, able to cook, clean, nurture, and have loving, healthy relationships. Getting married doesn't turn you into a half-functioning adult.
Getting married don't turn you into a half-functioning adult. It basically, yeah, you could take care of yourself, but now you don't have to.
Right. And I agree. I do think both men and women should have all of these skills prior to getting married. I just think once you get married, you become one. So it's like yin and yang. It's a balance. It's not, you can't both just do the same thing all the time. Like you can do things together, but I just feel like it becomes a competition. And I know you said, excuse me, that women don't look at it like a competition, but a lot of women will say, "Oh, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't do that, or I can do whatever a man can do."
No, they do.
So I feel like that's like the competition mindset. And then Tanya says, "I don't think our roles should be based on what the outside say. They should be what works for you." Okay. And then Damien says, "I feel like Claire Huxtable did it both. My aunt Elise did it. My grandmother, R.I.P., rest in heaven, did. I think the day of the woman who worked outside and maintained a household is fading." Don't kill me, ladies. I mean, I agree. I agree because of, like, we've talked about it kind of in the last few episodes too, where especially if you want to have a family, it's too much to, and I mean, women do it, but it's like so much added pressure. Like, you're going to work. Some women work until like they're literally about to drop, have the baby.
Claire had a job.
She was a doctor.
I never seen her leave the house.
He was the doctor. No, she was a housewife. That's what he's saying. They did the housewives. He thinks the day of the woman who worked outside and maintained the household is fading.
No, doing both, right?
Yeah, so I guess maybe just the woman who worked in the house, maybe.
And no, that's the. I mean, I don't think that it should have been women working outside the house and maintaining the household. They did that because they had to.
Right, because men weren't in the house.
Yeah, that man wasn't able to provide for their lifestyle.
Yeah, and I would say we're not saying that a woman cannot work outside of the house.
Yeah, she's able to. She has the ability to do it. Exactly.
And honestly, when you think about, like, if you think about a business, or when you think about wealth in general and living a comfortable lifestyle, wouldn't it be more ideal to live off one person's income? And let's say you can live off of one person's income, and then the second income, whether it's part-time, whether it's passive income, like, that is surplus that you guys can do other things with. Yeah. I feel like I think it's just more optimal. Yes, today in this society, a lot of things are different. And today in the society, a lot of women are actually making more than their husbands and the men that they're dating. That is something as well that plays a factor. And a lot of women are more so able to get jobs over men in the workplace. And now it makes it difficult for a man to provide for his family. So now you have a lot of women saying, "Oh, you can't find a good man who has a job," or you have women talking down to their husbands or their partners because, let's say, they got laid off or they're not making a certain amount of money like the woman is. So I think even though it happens, I don't really think that it's necessarily a thriving situation. Let's see. Karen says, "However, the roles in the relationship don't have to be based on gender." And then Damien said, "Talk, Tanya." And then Khalik said, "Women are men in 2021. And Mama J said, "Not defining roles can cause some internal tension." I agree. Navarro says, "Speak it." Khalik says, "Yeah, nobody wants to hear that when," I don't know what that was when he said it. Chichi says she agrees with Karen. Navarro said, "Tell him." And Damien said, "If he breaks his ankle, let that man fall while he take out the trash." Like we're men. Mama J said, "Hey sis." And Mommy said, "Hey sis." Okay. And Damien said, "Way too far, but don't get me started on the independent woman. With your lonely, grumpy, independent, I don't need a man self." Miss Shirley, hi, says, "Hey sis." Oh, Booby said she was a lawyer. Okay, let's not mess that up. Cliff was an OBGYN. Okay, he was the doctor. Okay. Thanks, Janae. Help my sister. Help me out, sister. And then Navarro says, "This is a major problem in our community. For women, depression, stress, heart attack, and other illnesses are at an all-time high due to women taking on male roles, working outside of the house." Yeah. And then Booby said, "Laugh, I got you, Damien." And then Miss Karen says, there are women who work because they love what they do. Also, if people are talking down to others because of income, that's a problem in and of itself. And I think that happens. So even though, like, honestly, like we say, okay, you shouldn't be with anyone for, we say you shouldn't be with them for their looks. We say you shouldn't be with them for how much money they make. But women feel more secure being with a man who makes money or who they feel like can take care of them. Now, in this day and age, we do have the independent woman mindset where they're like, no, I can take care of myself. I can do, what I need to do for myself. But then that's where I feel like, and I know some of you guys don't agree with gender roles, but like roles get mixed up. And then it's like, well, what is the need for the man? Is he just so I guess question, what do you guys feel like is the need for your spouse?
Yeah, what is his role?
Yeah, so
what do you expect a man to do for you?
Yeah, is it just to love you?
That's it?
Is that like the only piece of the love pie? It's just love? Because I feel like attraction plays a role in love. I feel like provider, protector plays a role.
Yeah, but these women can't say.
Go ahead. I don't know what you're gonna say.
They can't say protector, because you know what? Then you got to say, well, I could do that too.
Well, let's see. No, you could. Okay.
I mean,
but it sounds,
even if it's said, that's what I'm saying. If they say, oh well, he's supposed to be the protector. He's supposed to be strong and this, that, and the third. You're saying you could too. Because technically
you can.
yeah, technically you can do it.
Yeah. So question then, guys. What is the role of your man in the relationship, marriage? What is their role? What is their role?
Especially the married ones. What is your husband's role? What is he supposed to do for you?
And
what do you expect? Sorry. Go ahead.
Also, so that was one question. Also, though, do you guys believe that men and women are different? Or like, what do you feel like the men and the women's, like, what are our differences as men and women? Or do you feel like we're just the same, except for women have, our different body parts and men have their different body parts? Let's see. Damien says, but that pressure that feels that applied pressure is applied by other women, or the idea of what they feel the working woman should be. Let's see, that pressure that women feel is applied by other women.
This is a fact.
That's interesting. I think it goes both ways. I think a lot of men are trying to impress other men, and I think a lot of women are trying to impress other women.
No, I mean, that's true. That's true. But what happens is you get one woman to go out here and say, hey, it's just like how they say they put a black person up there to celebrate their accomplishments, make them seem like this grand thing,
symbolism.
Symbolism. So they put that person up there, and then now everybody's saying, oh, I want to do that. Like why they say like some young black kids, all they want to do is be basketball players or rappers or something like that, because that's their symbol of freedom or independence or whatever the case may be, out of their situation. You get what I'm saying? So then you put a woman out here saying, basically she able to do it. She's saying, oh well, I did it. You get what I'm saying? It starts making everybody feel like, well, shoot, I could do it too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you said in another podcast, it's like there's a lot of things we can do, but is it optimal? Is it the best for ourselves and for our family?
Yeah, did God make your body to be able to endure the things that I can?
Right. Okay. So mommy says that the man's role is to keep our love tanks full by providing, protecting, and loving your family and yourself. I agree. Miss Karen says, two healthy people in a relationship help each other grow, support each other, each other's dreams and goals. Okay. Mama J says to love, respect, loyalty, and yes, take care of the finances. Okay. Miss Shirley says to provide and be a good husband and love his family. And then Miss Karen says you are partners in finances, child rearing, and life. I agree. And even if you are a stay-at-home wife or mother, you're still partners in finances because once you're married, it's ours. So it goes into one pot. Poppy said, I hit the nail on the head. Mama J said, I can step in if needed, but only if needed. That's what I agree with too. I feel like you have set roles. It makes your life easier to have these kind of defined roles. If there is need, like Saquon said, he will cook. He will and also even if it's not needed, like sometimes as a man, you do things to show your wife you appreciate her. You give her a break on certain things. Sometimes as a woman, you don't just pick up trash, but you do certain things to show your husband that you appreciate him. So it's still give and take, but it's just saying you have honestly, I feel like you have to think of it in business sense to where it has to function because we are a unit. We are a unit and we have to work together. Let's see. Damien says, Claire was a lawyer. My point was I feel like she had a husband and chose to work. Women today can't even handle 2 toddlers without a nanny.
I mean, see, but that's because nobody taught them that. They don't understand home. They don't understand how to manage the home. That's not being exposed to them anymore.
The man was designed to provide. That's very true.
Yes.
The man was so now. Okay, now this is the second question, guys. No one answered. What do you think the difference between men and women are? Or do you feel like there is no difference between men and women?
Yeah.
I think that kind of helps get to the root of it too. Like, what do you think women were designed to do? And what do you think men were designed to do? What are qualities of women? What are qualities of men? Do you think it should be a quality or it is a natural quality for a woman to be softer and nurturer and loving and, feminine? Do you think it's a quality for a man to be more masculine, aggressive, and, want to protect, want to provide, more logical? Do you think those are just innate qualities of men and women? Or do you think there are no, and it's all society based?
Designed to provide in what way? What's the design difference? Let's start with the child.
Men can have children.
Yeah, we can't have children, but we designed to provide you with what you need to get that egg going. You can't get it by yourself.
Right. So they're a source in that sense. Yeah. And we are a source and incubator. So women produce, women, we are incubators. A man can give us something and we can multiply it and give it back better than what they gave it to us as. Mm-hmm. So a man can give us sperm and we can create a baby. A man can give us a house and we can create a home. We take things and we can build them up. That is part of our gift. That is part of being a woman, is we just have this talent to where we can incubate things and create them better. We can give them back to people better than what they gave us. If a man gives us an idea, we can take that idea and just flourish it.
Correct.
Let's see. Khalid said men go out to hunt while women take care of the house and kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only person that don't.
Only said mic drop.
Only what species that's like that is, I think, the lions. The woman hunts.
Yeah, but that's because the men are protecting
the whole.
They're protectors, and even in some African tribes, the women hunted too, but that's because the men were protecting their huts. So there are roles, and there's roles for a reason.
And protect and still watching after them in a way. I don't think they just, off where it's not being monitored to some extent.
Well, I don't know. I can't tell you that one. Mama J says to support your man. Also, again, we are natural caregivers. So yes, we are nurturers. Yes, women are more nurturing than men. And let's see. He said, say that, Charm. Preach, girl. Make a man a better man. Amen. Tanya says, mentally, men and women are wired differently. They have a whole different thought process. I agree. So that's why I feel like we have different purposes. We have different roles. Mm-hmm. It's because we think different. We are different. We're not the same. Let's see. Miss Karen says, gender roles limit men and women. Heaven forbid a man wants to stay home with the children. You are extrapolating from a biological function to a whole cultural context. Can we go biblical? Please go biblical, biblical thing. But those who won't care for their relatives, especially those in their own household, have defined the true faith. Such people are worse than unbelievers. Hey, G.
What's up, G?
Navarra says, like Mr. O'Day. So I don't think that biological. I don't think that I'm taking like the biological function and just saying that. Like I don't know. I feel like Miss Karen, for example, there's a lot of women nowadays who feel like they want to be single mothers. Like they don't want a man involved. So there's women who will go to the sperm bank and, or just adopt and let's see exactly the hunting role. It's not defined by the biological. Both men and women can hunt. Just one or the other has to be home protecting the herd. So I agree. I agree with what you're saying actually to an extent, because I do think culture does set up some of the gender roles. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, because culture, tradition, I feel like a lot of things are kind of tried and true to where it's this way for a reason. Yeah. It's this way because this is the most optimal way that it should be. The same way I think with medicine, which that's a whole nother story, but I feel like traditionally medicine was a certain way for a certain reason, and there weren't these type of chronic illnesses that there are today. I mean, it was acute illnesses, but that mostly had to do with hygiene. So I just feel like people try to knock tradition and always want to be progressive and change things, but certain things, and I'm not against progressing in mindsets changing, but I think people try to just be so against traditional, like it's bad, and I don't think it's necessarily bad. I feel like there was a purpose for it. But yeah, so what I was saying with the single women, or the women who choose to be single mothers, do you feel like a man is not needed to raise a child then?
And what's his role in that then?
Yeah, because there is a role for a man with raising a child as well, and a woman to raise a child. And I would just want to hear everyone's opinion on that one before I have to say what I have to say.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean,
do you think it is needed for both parents to raise a child, or do you think it's okay? And I'll say, because some women go about it that way. I haven't really heard men doing it where they just wanted to raise a child by themselves, but I do know men who are single fathers because, something happened with the mother, or she just doesn't want to raise a child, or things like that. But do you guys believe that both parents should raise a child? That's my thought-provoking question to you all.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I got some things to say.
Because if everybody could do the same thing, then you should be able to raise
a child by yourself, and it should be just fine.
Yeah, a woman should be able to raise a man, and he's supposed to be able to be a strong man and be able to do what he's supposed to do. Right. If you think that we are able to do the same things.
Yes. So what do you guys think? Let's see. Mama J says, yes, absolutely. Each parent offers something different. And Mama J, since you answered, thank you for answering. Do you feel like a woman can raise a young boy to be a man? And anyone can answer that as well. Let's see.
The King James version was more harsh. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he had to deny faith and is worse than infidel. Wow.
Yeah, because you're not living up to your role. Yeah. You're not protecting and providing for those who you should be, who you need.
Which is your job.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Haya says, a woman cannot teach a boy to be a man. I don't care what anyone says. And men teach their daughters how they should be treated by men. I agree. I do not think. I know women cannot teach a boy to be a man. Let's see. Let's see. Booby said, yes, we can raise a man.
Huh.
I know many women in this chat doing it now, and they have husbands. So, okay.
So what? They're raising their children to be men while they have husbands. The husband's not taking care of that role.
Right. And Mama J says, not without some shortcomings. I'm not a man, and I can't teach them everything they should know. So yeah, Booby, I highly disagree. Can you expand on that, Boobis?
Can you take the bonnet off?
Get on the chat. Get on the chat. Khalif said no. Women can't raise a man. That's why men need their dads or a father figure. I truly agree with that. On Chi-Chi, yes. Many of these innate male-female characteristics are really just dictated by society. Interesting. Tiny says, or male figures. Yes, I agree. Booby said, no, I will not. My hair was nuts. Okay, Booby, can you expand, though, on why you feel like... Okay, and let's take the man out of the home. So a single mom, you feel like she can raise a man. She can raise a young boy to become a man.
A man.
I feel like a single mom or, the father passed away, the man's just not in the picture. She can raise a good, compassionate male.
Respectful.
Yes, loving a good male, but she can't raise a man.
No.
Because we're not men. A man can't raise a woman. He can't raise a little girl to be a woman. He can't. There's just certain things you cannot like, and that's why I feel like innately. I mean, Chichi says that it's really just dictated by society, but I just feel like certain things are just natural. Like certain things happen naturally. Like when you have I haven't had kids yet, but I hear moms say, I know what the cry means for my child.
Mm-hmm.
And men just like with the bottle, like they have to stay home one day with the baby, and they're just like, honey, and she's like, this is what their baby needs. Like they just like, I just feel like certain things are innate, and I feel like we were created with purpose.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is just happenstance, and culture and society, I feel like started from something. It didn't just like why then did it become what it is? Well, now it's crazy. But why did it start the way it was? And most cultures were unified and family oriented, and now we're not.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Miss Karen, you want to read her, honey?
She says, yes, because I'm doing that and more. I'm raising him to be an emotional, intelligent human being who is not going to be trapped in the patriarchal gender roles. Okay, and...
So, yeah, you said you're raising him to be an emotionally intelligent human being. So you're raising him to be a good male, like a good person. You're raising him to be a good person, but you can't raise him to be a man.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. Not that he's not going to be a good person. And, let's see. Navarro says, did you want to read it?
Navarro says, the males we are talking about right now was raised by a woman. So no, she can't. If a woman could raise a man, then women would be bashing men. If women could raise a man, then women would be bashing men. They do that.
Yeah, maybe he said women wouldn't be bashing men.
Oh, if
maybe that's what he meant. I'm not sure.
Then the next woman wouldn't be complaining about him if the first one was doing the right job.
Okay, so Booby says, I think Dad, which is our grandfather, did a good job
raising. Said, no, I said a man and more.
Raising. She had a man in there? Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think she said that. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. She says he did a great job raising our moms and our uncle. And I think your mom did an amazing job raising you guys as well. Say is amazing as well. Mama J did that. It's nothing more to really explain. So, yes, we're great people. They're great people. However,
first off, hold on. Most of my life, my mom wasn't single. Just to throw that out there. So
yeah.
It's some.
He had a male figure.
Yeah.
And we're not saying it has to be dad, but he had male figures in his life.
Yeah.
But just because they did the best, like you can do the best that you can do. However, like with our parents, with ourselves, there's things that we still need. There's still things that we're growing, that we're learning. There's still things that, like, not having both parents in the household, you do lose out. Like, not having your mom, you do lose out on more of that feminine energy.
Yeah. And I would question that for you, my G. I would question you. Do you think that the way you were raised actually was fully optimal for where you are now and being actually married? Did it teach you to be more of a independent woman and strong independent woman, or did it teach you actually how to navigate a marriage and navigate the balances and relationships and things like that? Because from the outside looking in, it can look like someone did a really good job raising somebody, but you know, I guess then it will come down to the personal experiences.
What they personally feel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ms. Karen said, to clarify, you asked if a woman can raise a man. My response was, I'm doing that and more. Okay. Booby said, but there are men who can't raise a man because he can barely do it for himself. So he's not a man. He's a male. I think that's the distinction. Like, yeah, this gets deep, and not everybody's ready for the conversation.
Yeah, there's a difference between a male
so what happens
and a man.
Right. And so a person who, like a man who is not, Mama J said, the shortcomings I will speak of will show later in life. It may not be drastic, but they will feel the void of that father not being in their life. Yeah. I totally agree. Any child, and we're not trying to, maybe I feel like women are getting defensive on here, but we're not trying to, because it goes both ways. Like any child, like if it was not necessary for a child to have both parents in their life, it wouldn't take a man and a woman to create a child.
You can't create the balance.
You cannot create the balance. There is, like Mama J said, there is benefit to both parents being in that child's life. Not to say as a single parent that you can't do the best you can and pour everything into your child, and that your child is not going to turn out wonderful and successful. But there is going to still be that void. Who does not want their to know that biological father? Like, who does not want that piece of a man? The question was, can a woman raise a man? What? I agree with Mama J.
She said, I agree with Mama J, but that wasn't the question. I think that's what she's saying. The question was, can a woman raise a man? And the answer is no. A woman cannot raise a man. Thanks, y'all. And yes, she was saying thanks to Damien. No, you can't. You can't raise a man. That's the answer. That's the answer
how
to that
can you
question.
raise something that you're not? Like, that's saying like a duck could properly raise a squirrel.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't. You can. Let's see. Courtney says a woman
Did
cannot
the apes really raise Tarzan?
She can raise a beta male. Beta. No, it's not.
Yeah. Like think about Tarzan and them animals. When Jane came and eventually seen him, she had to still groom him to actually be a human. You get what I'm saying? You can't, like,
and it's drastic. Okay, we're saying animals, but it's, to me, it's the same concept. I mean, it's
okay.
The
same concept.
We can all. I love listening to what you guys say,
because this is
okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I
love listening to what you guys have to say and hearing it from your perspective, especially those who are doing it. And I commend you. And that's why we're not trying to knock anyone who is doing it. I'm just saying that people who choose to be single parents, like who choose to go out and just not involve a man in that child's life at all, one, it's selfish, whether it's a man or a woman. And two, you're doing a disservice to your children, intentionally doing that. Now, if circumstances happen and that's just the cards you were dealt and that's how you choose to raise your child, that's one thing. And I'm not saying you're not a great parent and you're not pouring as much into your child as you can. But like I said, and I truly, truly from the bottom of my heart believe this, like, if it was not necessary for a child to have both parents in their lives, it would not take both people to make a child.
True.
Let's see. Cully said, if I didn't have my dad, I'll probably be into some ish. Keep it 100. Yeah, because there's a balance to that. Booby says she just agrees with that 100%. Let's see. I think we read hers. Mama J said no. Damien said, women can most definitely raise a man child. However, I still needed a man with my anatomy that understood my aches as a growing Black man in society. I needed to know man stuff, and my mother could not do that. She prepared
the way, but my father had to break up the path to show me the way.
Yeah, it's different. It's not saying one role is more important than the other. They're equally important. Yeah. They're just different. Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead.
For instance, women trump men in my family. I can clean. Let me see. Yeah, I can cook, clean, wash clothes. Hell, I can sew a button in him a pant leg. But my father had to snatch me up out and teach me the ways of a man, and that's true. So I'm the same way. And man, I'm the same way. I know how to sew a little bit. I could do some things. You know what I'm saying? When I really want to, I could clean. You know what I'm saying? I could cook real good. I mean, shoot, I throw down for Thanksgiving. I cook a whole sweet potato pie, like for real. Like, so this is definitely growing up around women, though.
Yeah.
This is growing up around women. Now, what I can say is this. When I moved to Virginia and I started being around more males, I was closer to my uncle. You know, I was playing football, so I was out seeing different things. Those other things didn't matter to me as much anymore. You get what I'm saying? So
thank you, Miss Karen, for your input. We really appreciate it, and we want you to come back next week, please. We love different perspectives.
Yeah, we really do.
Yes.
Help get the conversation going.
Yes, thank you.
But it started balancing out a little bit different. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Okay. I'll read real quick. Courtney said, so Damien said, so now I'll get a manicure, but my hands work. All right. Thank y'all. And Courtney said, that's right, Damien. And another different, so men naturally, this has nothing to do with society, naturally produce more testosterone. Testosterone, increase in testosterone naturally causes more aggression, causes men to be more competitive. Women, we naturally produce more estrogen. It's like I said, it's like the yin and yang. So
it's meant to be.
If there weren't a difference, if it wasn't supposed to be that the man is like masculinity, like do you guys think masculinity and femininity is like fake or society made up? Like, do you guys believe that is something that's natural, or do you guys think that is just like society just put that out there? It's just a definition that they made. Courtney says, and produce even more testosterone when working out and doing mainly manly things. It's awesome. It is awesome. Yes.
Just going into the working world, not even working out, like, and things like that. When you going into a place, when you going into something where you know, like, I gotta compete, it automatically turns that on.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a natural instinct.
Yeah.
And you can handle it different. It was interesting. I was talking with one of my friends, and her stepdad, he had a job where he was working alongside a lot of women. But naturally, he talks differently. Like, he's more brass and, more masculine in his speech. And so they did not like it because they felt like it was too rough for them. But it's like naturally that difference in how we receive things and how a man does, and especially in the workplace. Let's see. Courtney said, working is manly because it's competitive. Men thrive in these environments. They do. Men are very competitive. They are very competitive. So, question to you guys. Do you think masculinity and femininity is something that is just natural, or do you think that it's something that is society made as well?
To think that that's made up, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can see gender roles being like society cultivated. But I do think there are innate things within us that we just naturally that's just naturally who we are.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
then,
like if you think about nature. Nature, like there's no gender role confusion in nature.
But
there's just a natural things. It's just a natural way to things.
Mm-hmm.
But because we have free will, because we are flawed and we're human, it's like we just go so far away from nature. And I think that right now we are like the furthest away from nature, and we should return more towards nature.
Yeah, and it's just the choice. It's propaganda and everything. They give us something to want to choose from. Because what I feel like this, you said you feel like the gender role part is kind of made up a little bit.
Not made up, but it's kind of structured and cultivated by society.
I mean, it could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you talk about it, let's say, okay, so if masculinity and femininity.
I know. Femininity.
Yeah.
Femininity.
Yeah, but if they're natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
What falls in these categories then?
Like, that's why I say, like, even if you think about the hormones that our bodies naturally produce,
mm-hmm.
testosterone. Like, when men take steroids and take extra testosterone, they're more aggressive. They're angry.
Yeah.
They're like, those are things that are naturally higher in men than they are women. When men have estrogen, nowadays people changing from one sex to another, they naturally their voice softens.
Mm-hmm.
They have less facial hair. They become more sensitive.
Yeah.
When you have high levels of estrogen, you can be like, when your hormones are out of whack, especially during pregnancy, you can become more emotional. Those are natural things within our bodies that society didn't have to tell us. Let's see. Mama J says, I think how your child is raised plays a huge role. I agree, Mama J. And if you think about it, hey Chris, thank you. I think if you think about it, Mama J, like how your kids raised, that's a huge point. What's gay, colleague? I think if you think about it, a lot of, especially in our community, men and women are raised by single moms.
Yeah.
And so I do believe, that changing gender-ish.
It is.
I do believe that. I do believe that.
Mrs. Whitaker.
Oh yes, name such a. I do believe that. Now I just lost what I was trying to say. How your child was raised. So I do believe how your child was raised plays a huge factor in that. And that's why I think there's a beauty and optimism in two parents raising a child, and a child having a mother figure and a father figure, the like stepfather, uncle, whoever. I think both energies are needed.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney says gentleness, sensitivity, and empathy are all feminine traits. I agree that naturally happen. Like, even if you think about children and you think about what they naturally do, like naturally little girls, I mean, granted, it's what you introduce to them to. And nowadays, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it's questionable to me. But nowadays they're raising kids gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Crystal.
What's up,
okay,
Crystal?
Girl. Thank you for joining. Nowadays, people are raising their kids gender neutral.
Yeah.
So where they won't even call their child a him or a she. They'll let their child choose what they're going to be. And so I wonder for the people who, and Miss Karen laughed, this would have been good. Maybe we'll say this for next time, because I want her opinion too. For the people who think that gender roles should just be wiped away,
mm-hmm.
then do you believe that you should, then should all kids just be raised and let them choose their gender? If gender roles, if there's no roles to a certain gender, then would it matter what your child wants to be?
That's true. We're
going to say that for next week, guys. We're going to save it for next week, because that's going to be a topic. It's been an hour and 28 minutes, and that'll keep us on here for another hour. Mama J said, big mistake.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with that.
Yeah,
and Yeah, we're going to save that.
Yeah, well, let's
and
save
then
that.
Also save the fact that there are parents who, if their child does come to them and say that they want to switch genders, they're allowing them to get hormone therapy at young ages. So we're going to talk about that next week.
But the gentleness and stuff like that, gentleness, sensitivity, empathy being female feminine traits, I guess that would be correct. I think about myself holding a child, and I wonder if other guys feel the same way. But if somebody try to give me a newborn, I feel like I will break the baby.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of men feel like that. Like some men won't even want to touch the baby. Because,
yeah.
Let's see. Khalik says that is retarded. That gender neutral stuff is confusing kids. It is confusing.
It is confusing.
Ooh, Mama J has a topic to add, and then Temp Tees. It's cuz. Love y'all.
Temp Tees.
I'm trying to think which cousin. I feel like it's one of mine. Maybe.
Either that. Temp Tees. Tyson.
Oh, maybe. Well, we love you too.
Yeah,
one of our cousins. Mom,
did you want to write down the topic
yes.
that you just said before you forget?
Okay.
Tammy.
Oh no! Hey, cousin Tammy.
Oh.
No, I knew it was my cousin.
I'm like, huh?
Neutral. Children.
But you're right, colleague. It is confusing people, and I don't want to really talk too much about it because we're
gonna talk about it next
week.
Hey,
Tammy. But everybody's saying hey now. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna say that. That's a good one as far as the gender neutral stuff and if they should be letting their children have hormones. We might as well. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of like the Dwayne Wade situation with him and his
yeah, that was a whole big thing. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about all of that next week. And everybody in here, please make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Oh, Mama Jerry, you're gonna start a whole war up in here. Okay. That kind of adds on to what we said today, because if people feel like there's no such thing as gender roles, and they feel like a woman can raise a man, then obviously they feel like two women can raise a great man, and two men can raise a great woman.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good topic. It might get heated. Okay. Guys, this is all love, and we're all here to just share our opinions and, put things out there.
And if y'all know anybody in that situation, ask them if they would like to give their opinion, because I would like to hear it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
and we can have them on here and talk to them. And like you said, we're always respectful to everybody. We want to give everybody their opinion, whether we agree or disagree.
Yeah. Because I would like to get their mindset. Because I guess I don't even understand the whole relationship. Because the thing would be like, if one of them man substitute
still falls into the gender roles, and we're gonna talk about that next week, because either way. Like gender, either way, I feel like gender roles are natural, and that's just what I believe. And everyone, like I said, everyone's free to agree with what they think and believe. And we're all learning, we're all growing, we all don't know everything. So we're on this journey together, but we want to bring these topics to the surface and talk about them. Because if you look at our society today, we're not a thriving society. And we don't have a whole bunch of healthy families out there. There's depression and suicide, and children is so high. And like even now with the pandemic, child abuse, domestic abuse is so high right now. So if everything that we are doing today was working, I don't think we would see these type of issues. And not to say even in the traditional roles that some issues weren't present and there were still some abusive situations. There were, but we're in chaos right now.
Yeah, and I guess that would be, for them to say, do y'all think that things are getting worse
or better?
Because as far as the gender roles and leaving out, stepping outside of gender roles, that's being more progressive, you know. So being that that's more progressive, what do y'all think? You know, are things getting worse for our generations or
better? And I feel like in certain ways things are better, in certain ways things are worse. I think things are worse as far as it comes to family, compassion, looking out for one another, loyalty. Like I feel like so many of the basic human traits are gone. You have people now who record fights before they break them up. You have people not willing to get up out of their seat for an elderly person. Like there's no compassion, there's no respect, there's like I feel like we're going back. We're not going backwards, we're just getting out of control, in my opinion.
We don't have the same care for each other.
We don't look out for each other. And like Chi said earlier, we are mostly nuclear families. Like our family is pretty close. However, like we still kind of spread out. We moved and things like that, but we still have contact with each other. But back in the day, a lot of families stayed very close knit and looked out for each other, helped each other. One thing we talked about last week was in a lot of Black families, each generation is starting from ground zero. I think we talked about that last week. We mentioned it.
Maybe we mentioned it.
But a lot of us don't have land that's passed down to us. A lot of us don't have trusts that are passed down to us and assets. So we're starting from ground zero and then trying to work to build that. And each generation, I do believe, like with my mom, she gave us a better life than she experienced. And like Luby said, she did a great job raising us. Saquon's mom, same thing. And our goal is going to be to give our child a better life. But our mindset also is it's not just for our children. We're trying to give our grandchildren a better life and their grandchildren a better life. We don't want anyone to start at ground zero. So I just feel like the traditional roles and the way things were, like if you guys think about it, like back in the day, and it happens sometimes now, but back in the day, our community, we owned land, we owned businesses, and businesses got passed down from generation to generation. And you could have people who are like, yeah, my grandfather started this business. Now that's almost not unheard of, but it's very rare. It's very rare that, like maybe in the South, I think it's more prevalent. But it's more so rare that it's happening for us. So I just feel like if the way we're going and the way our mindset is, I feel like it's like we're pinned against, like we're put against each other. And we just think that, oh, I don't need a man because I can raise this child by myself, do a better job than him. Or the same thing, a man, well, I don't need a woman because all she does is nag and this and that and that. I can just sleep around and I'll be fine. No, you won't be fine. You won't.
What it is they can live like to society standards.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, and if you're living, well, anyway, I digress. But if you're letting the media and society dictate and raise you or your children, you see the results.
And you got to be careful. And because the crazy thing about it is, I wonder if, and we do have more, what you want to call it, experienced people in the chat.
Wise.
Yeah. But I mean, not even that. Older, just older, more wiser, more mature, and have seen more things. I wonder if they were able to see the differences in media the way we can see it today.
Oh, I'm sure. Because even sorry, go ahead.
No, but like an example would be like, the same-sex stuff. That's took media by storm. You understand what I'm saying?
Now it's in every like cartoon and movie and things like that. It's just things, and it was taboo back. Mama J said not that old. It was more so taboo back then. But even I was gonna also add, honey, like cursing. Cursing was not on the radio when I was growing up. It was like, but now it's on the radio and they bleep out certain curse words, but other curse words are fine. They got to pass somehow. Or even TV shows.
And this is recent.
Even TV shows, like there's just certain things that have changed from back then there it was more censored in certain areas to now where it's like they're feeding certain things to the younger crowd.
Yeah.
And so that with that difference, do you guys feel like that has kind of shaped society in the way that we're going, or do you think that that difference just reflects how society is?
Right.
Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
And the fact that people are fighting for this doesn't make it right. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's like for the radio to change that, it means somebody was fighting for that.
Right. Like, why did you want to push cursing on the radio when you know you drive in the car with your child?
Exactly.
But nowadays you have people posting videos of their children cursing and rapping. You had scenarios where there's grown people paying children to curse. So you have a lot of different
That's been happening
things.
for years.
Yeah. So you have a lot of things where it's like even the people who are supposed to be adults aren't fully mature in mind. And so they're promoting things that to younger people that are wrong. But and you know, let's see. Holly says, I don't see how they can say B on TV but can't say F. Exactly. But it's like, what message is that sending?
And how are you choosing?
Exactly. How do you choose what's okay and what's not?
Yeah.
And then Chris says kids twerking. Yes. Why is that promoted? And we talked about this on another podcast, like Cardi B. Oh no, we didn't talk about this on the podcast. Oh, that'll be a good one too. What I was talking to Booby about when I told her, because I've never heard the song WAP. I've never listened to that song just because I just didn't want my ears to hear that.
Yeah.
And because like from what I heard about it, so I never listened to it for myself. But I heard that like the music video was like basically a brothel house. So, you know, where hoes are together. And basically what she's saying in the song is that she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, but she still got the ring because of her WAP. Her WAP. Yes. And if you don't know what WAP is, just Google it. But so I never listened to that. And the crazy thing is, Cardi, she was playing it. It was on this podcast I was watching. They said that she was playing the song, dancing and twerking and everything. And then I think her daughter's 2, maybe. Mm-hmm. She walked into the room and she quickly turned it off. And she cut it off and she acted like she wasn't doing anything.
We gotta find that.
And so yeah, we're gonna find that and probably play it next week. But so a lot of people were on her like, how you're a hypocrite, because how are you going to, you know, shield your child from it, but you know that young girls are dancing to your song.
Yeah. And
so that's one thing we have to realize. A lot of celebrities, a lot of the people in social media, a lot of people on the media in general, they portray one thing, but that's not how they run their households.
It's not.
So they're fooling a lot of us into thinking that this is acceptable and this is okay. And I'll repost your daughter doing it, but my child will never listen to that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just they doing what they're doing because they get money for it. They're getting money for this.
Exactly. Thing. So it's like no moral integrity because you want to check.
Exactly.
But you don't care how you're affecting the masses. And
Future was like that.
Yeah, because he didn't do drugs, and all his songs talked about drugs.
Yeah, he literally said in the interview, he was like, I don't even understand why people think I do drugs that much.
Well, because you're singing it every song.
Yeah. But he's like, I go to meetings, I'm talking money, I'm doing this, that, and the third. Yeah, I'm actually not even able to do drugs as much as people think. But that's an
ignorant comment, because who sees you in these meetings? Who sees you talking about money? They only see what you put out there, which is talking about drugs.
Yeah. What's an ignorant comment? For him to say that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you should just know I'm not doing this.
Yeah, no, people shouldn't. It's an ignorant mind. It's an ignorant mind that these people are taking over. Ignorant, weak minds, because in actuality, you're supposed to, you know, keep in the forefront of your mind that I don't really get to see this person 24 hours.
You should just keep in the forefront of your mind that I don't support this. I don't support what they're talking about, and stop supporting them. And yes, I do agree with that as well, that reality TV shows, music, all of that, it's all what they want you to see. There's 24 hours in a day, and they're giving you 3 minutes or 30 minutes if it's a show, or 45 minutes if it's a show. out of 24.
Yeah.
So you don't know everything that's going on. So you shouldn't base your own reality off of entertainment.
Yeah.
Khalik said he watched that. She said she makes music for adults, not children. She was like, parents should control what the kids listen to. Yes, rich and wealthy people are like real shiesty. Yeah, but she says that parents should control what children listen to. However, if children are on a school bus, can the parent control that with if the radio is playing this music? Can if a child goes to their friend's house and the other parent is accepting that child listening to this, can your parent control that? You can't. So it's like, why make music that you know is not okay? And for adults, I mean, well, I guess if that's the lifestyle you want to live, but yeah, I don't know. I digress, guys. Do you guys have an opinion on that before we wrap this up? Does anybody want to chime in?
Yeah, people should definitely Zero. Yeah, people should control what their kids are watching. They should know. But you're right.
But your mom didn't allow you to watch certain things or listen to certain things. That didn't mean you didn't listen to them.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, on one end, it is the parent's responsibility. And as you know, parents, I feel like some parents don't take as much responsibility for their kids and what they listen to and stuff. But there's still like an aspect of a child is not with you 24/7. So there's still things, there's the internet nowadays. And you know, even when like parents think they have kids on child lock on the internet, we're some crafty kids. We're some crafty children. And we can, you know, there was websites where you can go to whatever website you want. We can go back on Facebook. We can go here. We can go there.
I guess it's like the same sex thing. It's kind of like this. The foundation is broke. As long as the parent, like you're right, because it's going to be out there, different places that the child can get it, right? Or be exposed to it. But the parents, the home is supposed to be this foundation to be like, at least this don't go on here. This is what we teaching the kids, you know, and then after that they do what they want to do, but hopefully the foundation that you built will steer them in the correct direction.
Yeah, well, that's with anything, not just that. That not what you know what you were saying.
It's
that
little situation.
And Khalid said if they play that on the school bus, I'll unenroll my child. But how would you know they played it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough situation. But I think also it's just interesting the music that becomes popular and the music that the big dogs let out there. Let's see, Chris, you want to read it?
Yeah, he says, on a better note, you two are doctor and entrepreneur. At one in different points, one of you had to step back and step up to support the other. In terms of gender roles and masculinity, femininity, how did these things affect the way that you handle each other's growth and success? And he said, put a camera on the bus. You got to put your own camera on the bus. That's pretty much. And somebody gonna sue you. As far as the gender roles and things like that, true. I mean, for not even down to just being an entrepreneur. Let's say with me in school, right? She had to step up a little bit more to support both of us to, you know, get the job done, right? For me, right? I think mentally, I put myself into a space where I had to accept it to understand that I'm trying to get to a higher level to make the step up. But as far as my masculinity, you don't understand how long it was being said to me that this is what needed to be done to get the job done before I actually did that. Like,
what do you think?
To allow to just be like, oh, you just step up and do it all. You to say, oh, I'm not going to do, you know, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm gonna fall back, and then
it wasn't easy for you to just say, okay, I know I'm working towards this goal, but I'm gonna allow her to carry most of this weight until I get there.
And it happened. It is, you know, it's that's kind of what it is right now. But I'll be honest with you, I don't like that situation.
Right. And I do think it affected him as a man. as far as stress. Like it put more stress on you as a man. So for me, so like even when we say like a man's gender role is to provide, right? Mm-hmm. Providing is not just financial provision.
Yeah, it's
providing is you provide protection, you provide counsel, you provide support. Like you're there in other ways, and it also goes back to who you're dealing with. So if you have a man in your life who just has no ambition, who is not trying to do anything with his life and just letting you carry the weight, that's different than if you have a man who does research, is going to school, still working, putting his best effort forward, and you know what his goals are, and you're here to help uplift and get your man to there, get your man to where he's trying to go. Mm-hmm. I think that's different than someone without a plan, without goals, without ambition.
Towards it at all.
And I won't say that throughout the whole time it was easy, because it was like I never like emasculated him for not being, or for being in a position where he didn't have that type of start, because things kind of fell through with school and things like that kind of were out of his control. So I'm not going to emasculate you for that, because we're all human, and like you deserve respect regardless. Mm-hmm. Like you are still out here trying, and just because you had a bad card dealt for you in that situation doesn't mean that you get less respect.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it still does cause, it still did cause a little bit of it caused more stress on our relationship, but not in the sense where it was like we ever argued really about money.
Yeah, that wasn't the argument. It was just it threw the balance of things off.
Right.
So it wasn't what it was supposed to be anymore. Like, and that's all it was. It just threw the balance off.
Right.
Because for us, it would have never happened if I had the knowledge that I had today, right? The knowledge that I have today, right?
Yes, Lord.
Like that I have a plan for the rest of our life, right?
Right.
The knowledge I have today, if I would have known what I know today, she wouldn't be working right now. Put it that way.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be working right now. I would have already planned that out. I would have been cool. I would have been able to
juggle both.
Yeah, juggle both. Have an income and still go to school and take care of everything.
Right. And he still had an income, but it's more so like a full-time student, full-time working, still trying to be there for me, and like that balance, it just puts a stress. And then as a man, just feeling like, man, I'm doing all of this, and yet I'm still not where I want to be for my family.
Yeah.
So it's just that it was that stress that kind of weighed on us a little bit. And then even for me, sometimes it's like if I got stressed, it'd be like, oh man, like, I just wish he would get there already. But go ahead.
Meanwhile, you be thinking that, but it's like for me in my mind, right? Let's say a regular conversation, right, about how we see the future and loans being gone. Like, let's say the conversation with Janae, right? Mm-hmm. We ain't even talk about us. We talk about Joe Biden and them wiping away the loans, right?
Uh-huh.
And in the back of my mind, it's like, well, if that should, excuse my language, well, if that don't happen, you get what I'm saying? It's like, I still feel like I want to create something to wipe that away.
Right.
So me taking a step back, right? And just hearing the conversation about the loans, just like, shoot, I need to make sure that it's going, and I can't do that without the income. So then it just kind of, it puts different thoughts into your head, and kind of mess up the balance of how you feel and how you able to. If your tank not full, you can't give her everything that she's supposed to, and that's where things just start getting like unbalanced. Am I correct all my stuff? Just looking at me.
Wearing a do-rag. I didn't even notice. But yeah, so I do think that because those are natural and I would say societal things for the man to provide and, take care of his family, mm-hmm. that it did put some stress on him. And me as the woman, and also the way I was raised as independent. Okay, in certain ways. I was raised as independent. Actually, I really wasn't. Like, I was raised that I don't need anybody. Like, I'm very optimistic, and I just know that I may stress a little, but everything will always work out. I told Saquon, I used to tell him this, not anymore. I used to tell him, like, I was happy before you, I'll be happy without you. Or I would say, like, I told him, I was like, no matter what, even if me and you didn't work out, you will be successful, and I know I will be successful. Like, it's just, that is my mindset. Mm-hmm. So in that way, I had independence, and I was like a go-getter. Like, I was getting things done. When things fell through with his school, I was up there at the financial aid office making things happen. So my mindset was just different. But then when it came to other things, like, I had no independence because I was like the princess of my household. So things were done for me, and I was super spoiled. So in that instance, it was like, that's a change in the dynamic. I'm spoiled in different ways, you know? So it became a little bit of a struggle, but we worked through it together. And I feel like that only makes the success so much sweeter, because we got through that, and we learned, and we were able to work together and make it through together.
Yeah, we made it through some stuff.
Yes, child.
Remember that time you was mad that I didn't get you that cake? Oh my gosh.
Spoiled.
Yeah, spoil you to the T.
To the T.
Look what y'all gave me.
So Crystal said, yes, you are /were. For those who know me, you know me. Yeah. Mommy said, pound truth. # truth. Mama J says, parents give their children cell phones well before they should have them, which are in essence little computers.
Yeah.
That is so true.
That is true.
I couldn't even get a cell phone. Honestly, I wasn't supposed to get a cell phone until I was 16. And it was such a treat to get a cell phone at age 15. Now 2-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds have the newest of the new cell phones.
And they're expensive.
Thanks, Sally.
That's the crazy thing. The amount that's being spent on these kids' phones is just like crazy. Yes,
phones and tablets. These young kids have tablets, and it's so, well, I don't think it's like cute and funny, but it's funny because, like, I'll have when I was working like in the office and everything, the grandparents would have their kids, and the little kids are helping them with the tablet.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't know what they're doing, but the young kids know how to do that.
They know to navigate.
Yeah, but that does open, and there's I think a positive and a negative to it, because I don't really feel like there should be censorship on the internet and things like that. My mindset is like an idealist. Like, we should all just put out good information and positive information and be the best people we can be. But
censorship, that's not as far as you censoring your kids' internet?
No, I don't think there should be censorship as far as what's allowed to be put out. Like, I don't think, because I feel like you should be able to say what you want.
True.
Now, is everything right? No. But I just feel like just because someone doesn't agree with you, because then it becomes sticky. It becomes, what are we censoring? What are we not? And then that really is societal. It's like, well, if the mass agree with this thought pattern, we're going to keep it. But if they don't, we're going to censor it. So that's where it becomes tricky. But I do feel like for like mindset and knowing how kids like psychologically, physiologically develop, they're not ready for certain things, and they shouldn't be exposed to certain things. And certain things cause trauma in us, and we don't even know where some of these traumas stem from because they happened to us when we were so young.
Yeah.
Crystal, Mama J said, no, spoiled you? A little bit, Mama J, just a smidge. Crystal said, AZ will have to work for her phone just like I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I think a lot of people like who join our chats and who we talk to, they're like in the middle. Like, I feel like we're kind of to the right. Yeah. They're in the middle.
Which
we got
is cool,
people all the way to the left. So I think it's great too, because I love hearing, like, that's one thing. I think that's why I don't like censorship, because I feel like we get so offended and mad when people don't agree with us or look at the world through our lens. And it's like, I can still be cool with you just because we don't have the same opinion.
Yeah. Like
my cousin, she 100% disagreed that she thinks a woman can raise a man. But that's my best friend for life. Yeah. So like, it doesn't change anything. Like, we can talk about these things and disagree and still be fine. And if I ever need her, she'll be there. If she ever needs me, she knows I'm there.
I think the problem comes to like it's the masses part. So many people don't have a mind of their own, and then you could put something out there, and if it catch wind, that's kind of where things gonna go.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like like I said, people don't have a mind of their own. Like,
and it's a bully mentality because nobody love you too, boo biz, mean it. Nobody, and I understand it because I feel like as people we are supposed besties for life. I feel like we are supposed to be community based. I feel like I do feel like people need people. A lot of people want to live in isolation, but when you live in isolation, I don't think you're as happy as you could be.
Yeah, but
hold on. So what I was going to say is a lot of people don't want to be ostracized or like ostracized or like what's it called when you get kicked out of a church? You can't ever come back, or
I know what you're saying.
Y'all help me out. But
banished.
Yeah, like no one wants to be banished or anything like that. So it's like they either stay quiet and don't speak their piece, or they just go with the flow because they don't want to be the person going against the grain and then have everybody attack them. Especially nowadays, especially nowadays in social media where people are sending threats, people are posting you up and telling your job, and they're doing crazy things over your opinion. Over your opinion.
You can't even joke.
You didn't do anything to them. You didn't you just said something that they don't agree with and they excommunicated. Thank you. But it's like you just said what your opinion was and now you're excommunicated. It's too far. Like I just feel like we need to be open-minded and to say, okay, I don't agree with you, but as long as you're not hurting anybody physically or abusing, thank you, Mommy, and thank you, Chris. As long as you're not abusing someone physically or just doing mental abusing and just really demeaning somebody, okay, I don't agree. We can agree to disagree and keep going our way.
But nowadays it's a line of what they see as hurting people.
That's true. It's more sensitive society.
Yeah, Trump could say something about, granted, I understand the situation that we was in, at the time that we was in, but I just feel like let's say the bleach statement, right? like
if you took that to heart.
Yeah, if you really thought that you should go drink bleach to get away the coronavirus, then your mind is just gone. It's just gone. So all these years of your life, right? You think bleach might kill me, but now I got corona. It'll knock the corona out and keep me alive.
It's just like read. Like on the bottle, it tells you this is toxic. If you drink it, call poison control.
Yeah, he trying to be funny. He just the worst comedian ever. It's like, but nowadays people would say he's dangerous because people are gonna just listen to that.
Yeah, so and that's a hard part too, because if you are an influencer and you influence people, you do have a responsibility to be careful of what you say. Now, should you have to stop, what you want to say? No, but people are going to follow you, so you do have that responsibility to be mindful of what you put out there.
True.
Because
but people should still have a sense of some type of sense of where they believe these influencers, and how far they're going to go with them.
I agree. It's like I don't idolize anybody. I may admire someone's work ethic or their work or their creativity and things of that nature, but I don't idolize you. If you tell me to vote for so and so, I'm not going to do it. If you tell me to take this drug or vaccine, I'm not doing it. So it's like I'm not going to do it just because you said it. Yeah. I will do my own research. I will have an informed and make my own decision. And then when I feel comfortable with something, I may or may not do it. But just because you said it's popular or you said it's cool to do or you're doing it, okay, that's great for you and yours. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mindset we need to have too, is like stop letting other people dictate how we live our lives. Okay, guys, so we've been on here for 2 hours. It's been a wonderful conversation, and we both appreciate each and every one of you joining us. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. Once again, this video was sponsored by Popcorn. So thank you.
Before we get off, right?
Yes.
Hey, Janae, can we ask you, like, while we on now, right? Can we get you next week? Can we get you next week? Because, you know, I don't want the topic to go too far. You know, I don't want us to wait too long to talk about it again. So exactly, who the F is Drake Beach? But I really want to hear your opinion on how the woman can raise a man.
And then should we have her and another man on?
We could probably find one, yeah.
Maybe either Damon or Navarro.
Is Damien still in the chat?
Either him or Navarro, I think would be good. What is that face? Oh, the thinking face. Janae owes me a chopped cheese.
Yeah.
Great conversation. Thank you, Mama J. Good night.
Thank you guys. It was a great show.
Oh, I didn't even see Mrs. Whittaker. It just slipped in there. Thanks, guys. It was a great show. Colleague. I don't know, colleague. We'll ease you in.
Well, we'll be on the search for it then.
Let's see. It was a great show tonight. See you next Thursday. Good vibes. Thank you. Come on. All right. So we're gonna figure out. We'll text.
Yeah, we're gonna figure this out.
But we're gonna have some, and maybe it might even be more than 2 people, because we want to have this conversation and just really break it down. Because, Booby, what does that face mean? Is that a Pinocchio nose, or is that this face? From here it looks. I
want to say like
I'm thinking about it. Okay, but yeah. So we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Be safe. Have a great night. And until next week.
Deuces. Peace.